Okay, today we're going to do 2.5. So this is pre-calculus 2.5. So the inside of a picture frame has dimensions of 8 inches by 12 inches, and the border of the picture frame has a width of X inches as shown. Okay? So common problem in calculus classes, okay? Area problems. So A says express the length and width of the whole picture frame as a function of X. Well, if the inside is 12, then the whole picture frame all the way to there and there, the length is going to be 12 plus this X and that X. So plus 2 X's. Okay. So our width is from here, let's see, use a different color. From here to here is 8 inches, but I need the whole thing all the way to there and there. So that's an X and that's an X. So my width then is 8 plus 2X also. Okay, so that's all they want for A. Okay, express the length and the width. Okay, then for B, it says express the area of the whole picture frame. So area, what is our formula for area? Well, it's length times width. Okay, so on this one right here, I'm just going to multiply my length, which I know is 12 plus 2x, times my width, which I know is 8 plus 2x. Okay, and I'm going to FOIL those out. Okay, so that's going to give me 12 times 8 is 96. 12 times 2 is 24x. 2 times 8 is 16x. And 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Okay, so my area is really going to be 4x squared plus 40x plus 96. Okay. Now it says, okay, well, find the area of the picture frame when x equals 2, 3, and 4. So I'm just going to find my area if I plug 2 in for x, my area if I plug 3 in for x, and my area if I plug 4 in for x. Okay, so my area when I plug 2 in, going to be 4 times 2 squared plus 40 times 2 plus 96, and I am going to get 192 inches squared. My area when I plug 3 in, same thing. I'm just going to plug 3 in there, and I'm going to wind up getting 252 inches squared. And then my area when x equals 4, I'm just going to plug 4 in everywhere I see an x, and I get 320 inches squared. Okay. So the area of the picture frame changes greatly depending on how big my x is, right? Because if my x is 4 inches, then my area of my picture frame is a whole lot bigger. It comes way out there, right? Instead of just right here. Okay? If this was my 2, right? And this was my 4. Okay. All right, so now it says, well, let's find a value of x that makes the picture frame have an area of 140 inches squared. Okay, so say someone came in and they knew what size picture they wanted, and we would say, oh, well, then this is how big we need to mount this. This is what size frame we need to mount this in. Okay, so this is the, we need to put a frame border in there that's this big, and that's what happens. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to say, well, 4x squared plus 40x plus 96, right? That's my function for area. And we want an area that's 140. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is divide everything by 4. So I'm going to get x squared plus 10x plus 24 equals 140. Oh, sorry, 100, not 140, 140 divided by 4, which is 35. Subtract 35 from both sides, and I get x squared plus 10x minus 11 equals 0. I'm going to factor this. Okay. So a times c, factor this, and I get x minus 1 and x plus 11 equals 0. Okay, but I need to find out what my x values are now. So I'm going to set each equal to 0 and solve. So I get x equals 1 or x equals negative 11. Now one of these is an extraneous solution. X is a width. So what can x not be? It cannot be a negative number. Okay, so x equals 1 is going to be our answer then. Now let's take a look at the last part. So the last part here says, find the value of x that makes the border of the picture frame have an area. So the border have an area equal to 1/4 that of the inside of the picture frame. Okay, well, we know that the inside of the picture frame, the area is 12 times 8. We want an x value that makes the border 1/4 of that size. So we're just going to divide that area times 4. Okay, and then we would add those two together because that is the inside and that's the border. Okay, equals, okay, our area. Okay, all right, so here, now we're going to go on ahead and actually solve this. So 12 times 8 is 96 plus 96 divided by 4, which is 24. So our area then is 120. But it's not asking us for our area, it's asking us for our x value, right? Find the value of x. So now I'm going to do exactly what I did before. Okay, and I'm going to have 4x squared plus 40x plus 96 equals 120 this time instead of 140. I'm going to go ahead and divide everything by 4. Okay, and when I do that, I'm going to get x squared plus 10x plus 24 equals 30. Subtract 30 from both sides. X squared plus 10x minus 6 equals 0. Okay, and now I'm going to go on ahead and factor that. So in this case, I can't factor this, so I have to either complete the square or use the quadratic formula. And when I do that, I get x equals negative 5 plus or minus the square roots of 31. Okay, so now we just need to make sure that we don't have an extraneous solution, okay? Because remember, our x value cannot be negative. So let's see, the square root of 31 is 5.56 approximately. So it'd be negative 5 plus 5.56 or negative 5 minus 5.56. Okay, well, that one is going to give us a negative value. That one will give us a positive value. So it's going to be negative 5 plus the square roots of 31. That is our only value of x that we can keep. Okay. All right, so that's one type of word problem. We have lots of word problems that we're going to wind up doing. Okay, so the next one here says you have two travelers riding camels and they're lost in the desert, so they split up. Of course, you know, everyone always splits up. Okay, one traveler goes east while the other traveler goes north. Okay, so one is going east and one is going north. The traveler going east is 7 miles per hour faster than the traveler going north. Well, so I'm just going to say that this east traveler goes x plus 7, right? He's 7 miles per hour than the north, more. That means that our traveler going north is just going at a speed of x. But then it gives us some distances. It says, okay, 3 hours, they're 39 miles apart. How fast are they going? Well, we know that the distance is going to be 3 times their speed, right? So here, for our distance for our east traveler, we're going to get 3 times x plus 7, which is actually 3x plus 21. And for our traveler going north, we're going to get our distance is 3 times x. And we know that they are 39 miles apart. Well, let's take a look at this. Let's draw a picture. Okay, so our traveler going north, he goes north 3x. Our traveler going east, which is this way, he goes 3x plus 21. And I want to find, or I know that this distance is 39. Well, what does that look like to you guys? to me, if someone's going north and someone's going east, that's a right triangle. So what do we know about this side and this side and this side in a right triangle? Well, yeah, it's the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we're going to have 3x squared plus 3x plus 21 squared equals 39 squared. Now, when you do this, you had better make sure that you FOIL that. The biggest mistake I see is people put, oh, 9x squared plus whatever 21 squared is. No, this is a binomial. You have to FOIL it out. This one, you have to distribute that squared. Okay. So once we do that, we're going to get 9x squared plus, okay, so that's this piece. And then this is going to be 9x squared plus 126x plus 441 equals 39 squared is 1,521. Subtract 1,521 from both sides and combine our like terms, and we get 18x squared plus 126x minus 1080 equals 0. Well, all of these are divisible by 18. So I'm going to get x squared plus 7x minus 60 equals 0. So now I can factor that, okay? So it multiplies to negative 60 and adds to 7. That's going to be x plus 12 and x minus 5. So x cannot equal, so x plus 12 equals 0. So that would be minus 12 minus 12. So x equals negative 12. Well, remember that x is a speed, and a speed cannot be negative. So our only option then is going to be x equals positive 5. So now we can actually figure out their speed. Okay, so north is just x, so 5 miles per hour, and east is 5 plus 7, so that's 12 miles per hour. Okay. All right, so those are two types. Now our third type is going to be another very common type of problem that you'll see. So there's a gardener. He has 20 feet of fencing with which to enclose a rectangular garden on 3 sides. The 4th side is up against a wall. It says determine the distance x between the wall and the opposite side that will maximize the area. Once again, we're using area. Okay, so remember that area equals a length times a width. Well, here, our width is x, and our length, well, we start with 20 feet of fencing, but we have to take away these 2 sides, so we're going to take away 2x. So our length is 20 minus 2x. So our area is actually x times 20 minus 2x. Okay. So now we need to go on ahead and we're going to have to solve, okay, and find our x-intercept so that we can graph this thing. Okay. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to set each of these equal to 0. And now I'm just solving for x. So 10 equals x and x equals 0. So those right there are the very least width I can have and the very greatest width I can have. Okay, anything less than 0 and you're just going to be a straight line against the wall, right? And anything greater than 10 and it's just going to come right back out and go right back in. Okay, so it's not going to actually be a rectangle. And now I need to find my vertex. Okay, if you notice this right here, if I multiply it out, I'm going to get 20x minus 2x squared. Oh, it's a parabola. Okay, let's go on ahead and write it in standard form though, which means this piece is going to go first. So negative 2x squared plus 20x. And I need to find my x value, right? I need to find my vertex. Okay. So my x equals negative b over 2a. So that's going to be negative 20 over 2 times negative 2, which means negative 20 over negative 4, which means 5. So I know that my vertex or my axis of symmetry is somewhere there. Okay, and now I need to find my y value. I don't have to find my y value because I've already got my x, but I'm going to go ahead and find, what my maximum area of this is going to be. So x is my width, right? And then y is my maximum area that I can make this garden. So, this is something that would be a very common problem that you might actually have to use in real life. Okay, you might not have to, but it is used in real life. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is plug my x back in. So 5 squared is 25 times negative 2 is negative 50 plus 100. So that's going to be 50. So my parabola, my vertex, is going to be here. So my maximum area for my parabola is right there. So my max area is 50 feet squared. Okay, and that's when I have a width of 5. Okay, so when my x value is 5, so this would be 5, this would be 5, and this would be 10. Okay, it's not always going to work out that way. It depends on what dimensions you're given here. Okay, but you can always find out what is that maximum going to be. Okay, expect to see word problems, especially more as we progress in class, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.